Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Windsurf Lab. I'm making this series to share what I've learned over the past years, so you can have more confidence on the water, more control, more speed, and most important of all, more fun. So let's get started. Today we're talking about something that can be a real struggle, especially on the foil. How to pass the Shorebreak.
Okay, let's pause for a second. When we did the edit, we realized these tips also come in very handy when you're riding the fin, or maybe even for winging. So even when you're not windfoiling yet, make sure to stick around for some Shorebreak tips.
One of the most notorious Shorebreaks is the one from silt. With messy waves and sandbanks, it's very hard to go out, with fin and foil. Even for the PWA pros who have been competing there for many years. We see many broken gear there, which we obviously don't want. Now you don't have to be able to enter the water during the Silt World Cup with big Shorebreak, but the goal for today is to make you more confident. Confident in Shorebreak, which can be on the sea, but also in a lake where there's some waves rolling in. But even when the Shorebreak is small, learning to pass it with confidence is going to give you more time on the water and less sketchy moments on the beach. That's what we all want, right? So here are my 5 top tips to help you pass the Shorebreak without breaking your gear or your spirit. Tip 1. Examine the situation. First things first, take a moment to examine the situation. Is it rocky or is it sandy? Trust me, rocks make everything much worse. If it's rocky, wear shoes. Shoes make it easier to enter the water when there's sharp rocks or when you have no grip to walk. So you walk with the shoes through the Shorebreak and then you can put the shoes in your impact vest, for example. Next to the bottom, so sandy or rocky, you also have obstacles. For example, in Silt or Scheveningen, we have these rocky piers that go in the water, which you don't always see, but usually there should be a sign on the beach which warns you that there is something under the water which you cannot see. Never start too close upwind from those rocky parts, always downwind. So in case you make a mistake and the sea pushes you downwind, you stay clear of those and you're still in free water without hitting any rocks on the bottom. Check the current. In places like La Caleta in Tenerife, in one of the last videos, there was a small bay which created huge current. So check the situation and adapt to it. In La Caleta, for example, I remembered to jump off and then body drag the last part in, but the current was so strong that it dragged me out immediately. The solution there was to almost hit the bottom with the foil, then jump off and then get out of there as soon as possible. Bottom line, every spot is different. Look, think and adapt. On to the next tip. Tip 2. Carrying your gear on the head. You've probably already seen it in the earlier clips, but carrying your gear on the head. It might look a bit weird and hard, but actually it's one of the safest, most stable and easiest way to go through the Shorebreak. First step in this is how to get the gear on your head. Like everything in windsurfing, we want the mast to face the wind. Then I'm gonna put the foil in the sand with the board upright and the sail in my hands flying. There it's very easy to really drag the foil through the sand, so you should be careful. Preferably you don't want to have your wings in the sand, but for stuff like this it's inevitable. So we do it, but we do it easy and we take care. We lift the sail and we're gonna put the board in the wind, and we're gonna do it by lifting up the tail. So now I have one hand to keep the sail balancing, and the other hand I'm gonna put on the tail and I'm gonna lift it in the direction of the wind. The cams we want to have already rotated in the right direction, and from here we're gonna put our head in the sail and push the board up. Be careful with the foil so it's not gonna scratch the back of your leg open. Then we're gonna give a push and we're gonna walk into the wind. Now we have it. This is like a super easy way of carrying it. I always carry it like this. When I have a longer distance to travel, I put my shoulder below the board and I wrap my arm around the foil like this. So now I'm carrying it with my shoulder and I don't have to shoulder press it, let's say. Second step is how to move across the wind with the gear on your head. So now it's very important to keep the sail with the mast facing the wind. So what I'm gonna feel is when I go too much downwind, at some point the gear wants to go forward and it wants to fly. Same goes when I go too much in the other direction. The wind's gonna mess with the sail and it's gonna make it unstable. So you want to keep it nice and neutral and balance it like this. So you try to walk forward, easy. You try to walk backwards. Practice carrying the gear on your head before you head into the waves. Try walking forward, try walking backwards, left, right. Be comfortable and then slowly make your way into the waves. Third and last step, how to put the gear down without hurting yourself or the gear. So when you want to put the gear back down, what you do is you go downwind with the rig. So you twist your body until you're gonna feel the boom in your back, and slowly the pressure is gonna build to let the sail flip over. You can keep the foil completely out of the sand. You just put the nose of the board, you're gonna put it in the sand. So Dan is going a few steps back because my sail is going that way. So I go, boom goes in my back. I keep the foil, and now it was already in the sand, but I keep it in the air and you put it down gently. Tip 3. A different way of carrying your gear, which works perfectly in the Shorebreak. There is another way that works great when the Shorebreak is a little bit smaller, which is grabbing the back foot strap and lifting the sail over the water. The first step is to grab the back foot strap that is closest to the water. With your other hand, you grab the bottom side of the boom closest to the water. When a wave comes, you lift your arms up and the wave passes below your gear. The battens stay out of the water to protect them and the foil is also safe. An important side note is that this could not work when the Shorebreak is getting too big, because then the wave almost passes over you and you don't have the height anymore to lift the gear over the wave. So then I would recommend to carry the gear on your head. This technique only works when you go in the water and you must adapt your body a little bit according to the wind direction. Tip 4. Timing. Waves always come in sets, so you want to wait, watch and time your move. Best moment to head out? Right after the last wave of the set. This is when the water is the easiest, so this is the best moment to go. It's important to take your time and to really review the situation correctly, but the golden rule, when you go, you go. Don't second guess, don't stop halfway. When you go, you're committed and you go. You either make it or you get washed. Tip 5. Coming back in. Going out is one thing, but coming back in can be just as tricky. When it's rocky and you wore shoes going in the water, don't forget to put them back on. Now the next step is to time it correctly and to come in with the last wave of the set. You should come in with a bit of speed, so you have the possibility to maneuver in between waves if necessary. When you realize you made the wrong estimation and the set is not over yet, don't be afraid to head back out of the impact zone and come back later when you think the set is finished. A common mistake is jumping off too early and then getting washed from the back. Go close to the beach, also depending on if it's rocky or sanding or if there's current. Places like La Caleta, you don't want to jump off too early because the current will push you back immediately. Another mistake is hitting the bottom with too much speed. Obviously when it's rocky you're going to destroy your foil immediately, but when it's sandy you're going to fall off forward in a very bad position. Your foil is then already in the bottom, which is not good, and your sail flipped forward, which is in the water, and then when a wave comes you're going to destroy your battens, maybe your mast, so you don't want that to happen. When you find yourself in a situation like this, the best is to put the sail up so the battens stay out of the water and they don't break. In places like Silt on a heavy day where I know the shore break is really punishing, I try to touch the bottom gently. When I feel that I'm hitting the bottom, I jump off backwards, I put the gear on my head and I run. Not putting the gear on your head and carrying it with the sail flying and with the foil or the board or the straps on the other side can be very risky when the shore break is too big. Sometimes I prefer it when the shore break is not too big, but when it's really windy, so I'm afraid the gear is gonna fly off my head because of the big gust. Then we're speaking about 25 knots plus. So usually I always carry it on my head. The golden rule always stays the same. Commit and don't hesitate. Stay sharp and always read the water. The shore break doesn't always have to be scary, just something you read and react to. With good preparation and the right timing, you'll be fine. So this was it for the first episode of the Windsurf Lab. I hope you guys liked it. If there's anything you guys want me to dig into and share my tips, let me know in the comments. I will have a look. And if you want to support this channel and me, like this video, comment and subscribe. It's a pleasure to make these videos for you, so I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao!